So we have Samantha Sand with us, who is in her 4th year of teaching ENL K-6 level in the North Bellmore School District. And she recently received tenure in her district, so big congratulations to Samantha. I'm sure it was very well deserved. Samantha holds certifications in Spanish adolescent education, TESOL, and childhood education. And she's also a SeeSaw ambassador. So today she's going to be sharing with us her co-planning through SeeSaw. So welcome, Samantha. We can't wait to hear from you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. I just want to comment on all the presenters. It was so nice hearing all that you are all doing in your classrooms. I loved watching all of your presentations. And I've noticed that there is a common theme across all of us educators. And that theme is that we care. We care so much that we're willing to use any mode of technology, any means to reach our students where they are and help them cope, help their emotional needs, help their families, and doing this all while teaching new material for them. So I just wanted to start with that. So our district has done an incredible job with transitioning not just ENL families, but all families in general during this, during this time that we're moving towards home learning. We took on the use of using SeeSaw because it really is very kid-friendly, family-friendly, teacher-friendly, and it has a variety of tools that are very, very accessible no matter what device they're using. So some of our students may not have access to iPads or laptops, or even just have to share one iPhone across 3 siblings. So one of the things our district has done that has been really great is we have been providing families with laptops and other modes of technology. They are guiding us through telephone, phone calls, emails. I use Remind. I know a lot of the co-teachers I work with, they are also using Remind. But what's so great about SeeSaw is it provides an opportunity to be a co-teacher with your classroom teachers, with the other specialists who see some of your students, with the special areas. And there's ways for us to all communicate together in this platform. On top of that, I would also just want to mention that our union and district have been providing food and resources. We've been making deliveries. I am bilingual in Spanish, so even though a student may not be necessarily in my school, if they need support, a lot of the principals and teachers have been calling me to help translate for these families. So during this time, it's just been a wonderful experience being able to collaborate with everybody and being able to support as many families as possible. So with SeeSaw, how it works is when you get the paid version, there is a free version, but with the paid version, you have access to at least, I believe it's 20 co-teachers per classroom. So as an ENL teacher, we have access to, as you'll see in the picture on the bottom left, I can see all of the classroom teachers that I'm a part of. In addition, I've been using Zoom, of course, with passwords and protection codes and locking the meeting, so that my students can also see face-to-face connections with me every single day. I help guide them through SeeSaw. I teach mini lessons and use Zoom and SeeSaw as my 2 main platforms. We also, as I mentioned, use Remind. So with Remind, every day I send them just a friendly good morning message. A lot of my families have built a relationship, a very strong and positive one with me. And so a lot of the classroom teachers will reach out and ask me to communicate with them through that Remind to
Samantha,
get them onto SeeSaw.
I just want to reiterate one point. So you have multiple co-teachers, because I see somebody entered a question that they were under the impression you could only have one co-teacher on SeeSaw.
So there are multiple co-teachers, and what that necessarily means is that the classroom teacher is the main teacher. So I, as a ENL teacher, am connected to per classroom. The art teacher is a co-teacher. She's connected to that classroom. With the free version, you don't necessarily have that ability. Our district was able to merge us into the classroom. And the classroom teachers, what they can do to make you become a co-teacher is invite you into their classroom through an email link. I'm actually running a PD today for my district later on, where I'm showing teachers how to navigate folders within there because of the fact that there are so many co-teachers involved. If you wouldn't mind going to the next page for me. Thank you. Okay, so as you'll see here, I am showing you the access to a paid version account. So at the top, you'll see where it says Community, School, and My Library. The School tab is incredible. It allows all teachers across North Bellmore to share resources with each other, activities that they've made, activities that they found. And so it helps break up the work. So if a fourth grade teacher is sharing with her team in one building, she can post it here so that another fourth grade teacher at a different building can use that resource. The My Library resource, that is access for any teacher to see already created lessons, modify them. A lot of what I've been doing to co-teach with a lot of my classroom teachers is I've been making activities, and as you'll see at the bottom left picture, there's access for you to share. So what I do is I share my activities, or the classroom teacher will share the activity with me through that share mode, and it'll come to my email, or depending on how the teacher shares it, it will come to my SeeSaw account, and I can go in and modify it. So at this bottom right picture, this was a kindergarten example where one of my students, and I'm sorry for the red cross out, it's just for privacy settings, hiding my student and teacher's name. So what you'll see is that my student had to go over her sounds and her letters. And so being a co-teacher and being able to help modify and create these assignments, I was able to use Zoom while having SeeSaw in the shared mode. And together we were able to record her voice as she made the sounds and as she identified the letter. And then, I'm not sure if you can truly see the picture below, but I was able to then comment. So the feedback to the students is very direct in the comment button. And the classroom teacher is able to comment back to both of us. And the students get those directly to their inbox tab. So they get notifications and they can respond directly there too. So this is the best way to communicate one-on-one with an individual student. Okay, if you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so here, this is how we help organize folders and activities and information for our English language learners, or just in general, all of our students. So on SeeSaw, there's multiple tabs. The activity tab allows you to see any activity that's assigned to the class, any activities that are scheduled for the class, and any activities that you archived. The benefits of this is that here students will be assigned activities, but teachers are able to schedule them ahead of time and organize them based on time frames for when they are being delivered. So as a co-teacher, the benefit is that I can see what's being scheduled before it's scheduled, before it goes out. And so what I do then is I use my modes of communication, whether it's through Zoom or Remind, and I message families and I let them know what's coming up. And that's how I base my planning. I try and model, either pre-teach or reteach, or even just teach what the teachers are currently doing at that time. And every Friday we spend at least 15 minutes going over their upcoming activities. And I love Zoom for the fact that I can share my screen and walk them through and explain those activities to them. The great thing about archived is that once an activity is completed, after a week, or let's say after 2 weeks, because we are mindful as our district and as all educators that these families are going not just through, the struggles of being able to complete assignments, but just daily getting used to this routine, this new lifestyle, this new way of learning. So we are being very mindful and caring about that. And so we might not archive an activity right away. We might wait a week or two. And the benefit of archiving is so that students and teachers are not overwhelmed with the amount of activities posted on their page. Okay, we can turn the next page. And then again, as I mentioned, here's an example of where I knew that a classroom teacher was going to use a wordless book, Hank Finds an Egg. And so they needed to use inferencing in order to complete this activity. And so in order to prepare them, the classroom teacher and I discussed the benefits of going over inferencing. And so through my Zoom session, I was able to scaffold their learning, use visuals, as you see in this picture, go through examples of how we make inferences as learners. And then we were able to go together to complete that assignment. And then the last page. So this was the example of a read aloud for Hank Finds an Egg. So as I mentioned, we're able to then individually log into SeeSaw after I was able to help scaffold them to complete this, but at the same time, we're able to complete it together. On the right, another way to organize the students' works are into folders. So every classroom teacher can make a math, science, social studies, etc. folder. In addition, I have my own folder. And we can go in and improve and review work. And what's so great about that is we're able to provide, as I mentioned, direct feedback. And if we want a student to fix something, we can directly provide that feedback in their sample work and then send back. And the students then get a notification that they have to go back in and edit their draft. We're also able to use this calendar feature where it helps us see how many assignments were submitted on what day and how many were completed. So SeeSaw is super friendly. All teachers, yes, I see in the comments, were all teachers directed to use SeeSaw? Yes, administration came together and they decided with the tech department that this was the best resource for us to use to benefit our younger learners and to also support the education that we're doing. It's an incredible resource. Teachers are able to videotape themselves doing mini lessons, embed them into their activities, and students are getting live lessons from their teachers. In addition, teachers are still using Zoom to video conference. You know, I'm able to include other teachers in my Zoom sessions. And overall, I feel that my district has done nothing but be incredibly supportive for all of us, in families, students, teachers, and SeeSaw is an incredible resource that I will continue to use when we're going back into the classroom. For our L's, it's hard enough that they're trying to learn the language and now they have to learn how to use technology. But I'm very proud to say that all of my students have made it onto SeeSaw. They're telling me it's fun, they're enjoying it, and there's so many tools. They can draw, video, use the notes, and it's just a great resource overall.
And Samantha, I just want to clarify. So you are working with students and teachers at multiple grade levels?
Yes,
several
I
different
work
classrooms?
in one
Okay.
building teaching kindergarten through 6th grade, entering all the way up to commanding. So my job as an ENL teacher is really to support these learners, not just with their language, whether they're an emerging learner or a commanding learner, but also to help teach them content in as many areas as possible. So, but I truly get the greatest joy seeing their faces every single day and seeing them growing still while we're doing online learning. And yes, in order to get access codes, our district set up codes for families. So they each have their individual access code to use. Those codes will not disappear when we go back into the classroom because those were individual codes that don't disappear. And what's amazing is these journals end up being in their portfolio forever. So when they go to the next grade level, those teachers in the next grade level have access to those journals and can see their prior learning. So it's really just a wonderful resource. And for anyone who has any more questions for me, you can always email me. You'll see it on the next page. I'm more than happy to even do a shared screen through a Zoom session with anybody who's interested in learning more about SeeSaw. I'm a huge advocate for it. And I actually ordered a t-shirt. It's coming in next week. So I'm really excited to, continue supporting as many people and continue supporting my students.